Hey YouTube, Meef here. Welcome to episode 5 of our Feed the Beast Continuum. We're doing our quick start, quick tips and tricks guide. Got a few things to cover. We're going to go over the EFAB tank. We're going to start some of the immersive engineering stuff, and then we're going to look at the first RF generating machine, which is the clockwork engine. You could take a different route, but it's a little more complicated to get there, I think. With the better questing stuff, it seems to work out pretty well to go this route. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. So we've completed the smeltery. This is all done. We've got this outside. We've actually run that, made some tools, and we've got this all complete. Ended up with some blank patterns as a bonus there, which is a good deal. Next, we're on to these two tasks, and here is the next one you'll have to complete after that. Now these coke bricks aren't complicated, they're actually relatively simple. Give me just a second here, let's get some daylight. Let's go to coke brick and let's check out what these are. So it's just sand, some bricks, and then clay, and you only need 27 of them. Once you're ready, go ahead and do this. Get it all set up. Get that clay. You want to keep bringing that clay and gravel and sand in. It's got to happen. And then just get this stuff all baked out and ready to go. So this is simple crafting. The only thing you got to worry about here is the bricks for cooking those out. Not real complicated. Let's take a look at here. You also need the engineer's hammer, and that's just a couple sticks, some iron, and then some string. So not real complicated there. So once you've got all this crap, let's go and see. I've actually gone ahead and done this already. We can set this stuff up. We'll talk about this stuff over there in just a little bit. As you can see, I've kind of increased the base here a little bit. I'm trying to kind of expand. There's actually a tunnel that goes down underneath the river now because I didn't want to deal with that bullshit anymore. But anyway, that's where that's all at. So we're going to put this down, and this is pretty much just a 3x3x3. And I'm going to put it off kind of in the middle of nowhere here just because we don't have to be real clustered up here yet because we don't need it yet. And make sure you throw a torch on top there. You don't want any surprises. So once you've got this 3x3x3 cube here, what you can do is you can right click the one of the faces that you want to be the front, and just click wherever. I guess it doesn't really matter. So you've got this interface. Once you've got this interface, what goes in here is coal. It turns into coal coke, and you get creosote. So let's do that now. Let's grab some coal. I don't have any in my inventory. And we're going to do this whole stack of 44 here. We're going to put this guy inside. So that'll just do its business. You don't have to power it. You don't have to do anything. It just does its thing. Just let it go. That'll do its business, and you don't have to worry about it. We'll come back here in a little bit. Just keep in mind this reservoir will hold 12 buckets worth of creosote. And in order for this thing to actually function, this cannot be full. So it will stop. Just a heads up there. Let's ditch. Let's put this guy here. So that's the start of that. What we should do is pick out a tank, and it's going to be the tank from EFAB. Let's take a look here. There isn't a whole lot. So you got two options here. So the advanced one does some business. And the real difference between them is that this one handles 64 buckets and this one only handles 16, but this is the cheaper of the bunch. So we talked about you know, getting this bronze together. In last episode I didn't have enough damn gold to make that happen. So what I'm gonna do now is make that stupid cast that I didn't make before. So you're going to need one of these. I actually picked up some gold, so I threw that stuff in there. Let's just make this and do it. Okay, now we've got a cast there. And let's pull out our molten bronze. This takes a little while. It's not too bad though. What we got left? 2, 3, 3. And I do actually want to make some more of this, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some copper. Some tin. Oops. I think I've got enough material here to do 2 of these tanks at one time. And the reason I'm going to do 2, there's 2 reasons. One is to kind of have a little bit of a spare to work with. And the other is to keep one just kind of attached to the machine here. And the reason I'm doing that is what we're going to do is we're going to fill that bitch up with creosote. Bronze, bronze, bronze. Let's pull these out of here quick too. I think I've pulled enough material to get both of these done. Okay, that's the last of that. Now, let's take a look and see what it's going to cost to make these tanks again. So this really isn't a big deal. Should make a little bit of glass here, because I don't think I have any stored. Nope. Let's do 10. Oh, I do have some here. Never mind. Let's take our glass. But we're going to need this iron casing. This is where it gets to be a little bit of a bitch, because now we're going to have to stuff 8 iron in there. I said 8, damn it. Put this in the smeltery. Let's cook that out quick. And let's get the rest of this stuff prepped. We're going to need some iron, which I think I've got some sitting here. Let's get that. And these are just sticks, so let's get a few more of those guys going. Some spares too, that's okay. And we'll go get our handy dandy gear casing or gear casting here. Switch to our molten iron. We're doing under creosote. This should fill up halfway fast. Yeah, there's a bucket and a half in there. That should be enough to get us started on some other stuff later on. Just keep in mind that you kind of got to have a supply of that stuff if you're doing anything with immersive engineering. A lot of that stuff kind of requires some wood. And then a lot of it requires steel, so the coal coke that goes in there, everything kind of works in tandem with immersive engineering. We'll get to that later on. That's kind of a complicated set of mods, or a single mod, but a mod pack there. So, alright, let's go dump these 2 gears in here. So we've got 2 iron casings. Let's get these here, a couple of glass, and our bronze. And there we go. We've got 2 tanks. Now, what I'm going to do with this, and we're going to get a bucket. We're going to see if this works, because I think this has worked before. to pull this out, but I'm not sure. Let's try it. Nerp. Won't go. Okay, so we gotta do this the old-fashioned way. Let's put one of these guys in there. And there we go. So we've got some creosote in there. And it looks like my pickaxe is shit. Let's fix this guy up quick. And you kind of see on the front here that it says creosote oil, so you know what's in the tank. If you were to combine these two tanks and stack them up, you should get a combined oops, that was the empty one. If you click these with an empty hand, it does tell you what's in there. But I think if you stack these together, you can stack them vertically on top of each other, and they end up being whatever the tank full capacity is. I don't want to prove that out right now because if I'm wrong, I'll screw this up. We don't want to do that yet. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get some lava quick. It'll take a little time here as we do this real quickly. Get some of this freaking lava out of here because it's been driving me nuts. This is the one place. It's at 52. Why 52? So I'm digging along a decent sized tunnel through here and a giant hole opened up and I almost fell into the fucking thing. So that wasn't a whole lot of fun. Wasn't a real big fan of that. What do we got left here? One more. There. Fully, man, it's a fully. Okay, so definitely make yourself a couple tanks. You don't necessarily have to load them up. Just put whatever you can in there. One thing I do want to show you real quick in this EFAB. Let's get some wood planks going here. And we kind of talked about selecting what you want here. Okay, so now here's the error. Not enough tanks for liquids, not enough liquid creosote oil. Needs 250 millibuckets. So in order to make this happen, since this is a giant multi-block, let's knock this off here. As long as this is touching anything else, let's just put it on top of this gearbox just for shits. See how that the status went to idle rather than have an error on there? So now we can hit this start button and craft this. It takes 2 seconds. It'll make 2 of those. So let's just do it. We're going to need them anyway. But that's it. That's how that functions. And you'll see in here there should only be like 750. Oh, 5. I can't count. That's right. We only pulled a bucket, not a bucket and a half. But that's how that works. Since that's a multi-block, you can hook that up however you want. I'm thinking that you can expand this out and get really crazy with it, which is kind of why I opened this area up, because I think I want to move this machinery back into that corner. So give yourself some room to work. Spend some time digging down there. Grab that cobblestone if you like it kind of neat. Grab a chisel. They're mostly cheap. Let's take a look at the clockwork engine. That's the next thing on our list here. So this isn't real complicated. It's pretty much just a block of gold. And I think there's enough gold in here. Let's cook this shit out. This should go relatively fast. One thing we do want to check out here is, since we've completed this, here is a choice reward. Now, I know because I kind of went ahead in a previous playthrough here and kind of looked at some of this stuff and ended up kicking myself in the ass. The coal coke here, I don't give a shit about that. You can make coal coke all day long. It's the creosote oil early on that is probably a little more beneficial. So you can kind of skip some of the stuff there if you're low on coal and pick up this. I'm just going to pick up the creosote oil because you can actually dump this shit in here. And now you've got 8.5 buckets of creosote oil sitting there for anything you want to do with immersive engineering without having to wait for that stupid ass coke oven out there to do its business. So keep that in mind. It's up to you, whatever makes most sense. So let's take a look at this again. We've got a clock. There we go. And then our gear. I think we've got some in here. Oh, there is 4 gold in there. Let's get that guy out. Take it. And we're going to need a piston. This is just cobblestone, iron, and then some planks. Let's see. I need one of those. Let's do 2 of those. And can we be real lazy about it? Oh, don't let us. Oops. Oh shit, that's right. This is one of those recipes that's got to be done in the EFAB. There we go. And this doesn't take too long. I think I'm going to look at putting some excess gearboxes together and actually speed this machine up just a little bit. I mean, it's okay now, but it'd be nice to get it to go a little bit faster. Let's put this bitch together. Get a spare bucket of lava here. What else needed to go in there? Block. And there we go. Clockwork engine. Now this doesn't really do shit right now, but the next step in this better questing is going to be to start building some of these machines, and that does require RF. So this thing, it actually does pump out some juice. It's just not as fast as you would hope it to be. It will work, but once you start to get into your flux ducting, and then there's a survival and a cold generator, they're all going to come into play for this. Once we get past this, you move into industrial rebirth and just start hammering away on some of this other stuff, which is, this is where it gets cool. So let's see what we got for a reward here. I think this is probably just some food or whatever. Oh, some more cobblestone, which is cool. We'll take all the cobblestone we can get, and the reason for that being, if you look at a compacting drawer as one of those side quest things. Oops. Compacting drawer. We're looking at triple compressed cobblestone, so that's 729 blocks. Just cobblestone to do that. And it's kind of cool because, I mean, it is handy for stuff that requires, you know, blocks, ingots, and nuggets, like gold or iron or nickel or bronze, I guess. So that stuff's all there. But once you get to this point, you should be in pretty good shape. You should have some extra stuff here, which this stuff, save it all. I mean, you're going to use it. All this iron, gold. And then we've got our clockwork engine here. We'll start hooking that in the machine. So I think we'll end this episode here. I'm going to go gather some more materials. We'll come back for the next episode, and we will talk about getting together for some flux duct and probably a carpenter, and then a thermionic, whatever the fuck it's called. So until next time.